Else Fly Box. Today we're going to tie a fly that comes by way of Neil Silbicki of Rogue Guiding, Rogue River in Oregon, and it's the CarpetBagger. This is the Midnight Fire CarpetBagger, or a variation of. I don't use the exact same materials as the Midnight Fire. It's also referred to as the Magic Fly by Neil, but it's proven very effective not only for steelhead out west, but for trout and large trout here in the Northeast, and for smallmouth as well. So let's go over how we tie it. This version is, I start out with a size 10 Mustad 9672 or an R74 signature, 4X long, and a tungsten gold bead. We're going to start off by starting in the middle of the shank with 0.015 lead substitute wire, and I'm going to wrap up behind the bead. Not going to be too worried as to how tight it is, because it's not that important. And then I'm going to scrunch it up behind. That should give me a tight, about 40% lead body covering, and tight up behind the bead. Next we're going to start our thread. It's 210 near Danville, and it is black. I'm going to lock that lead in place. And then we're going to bring our thread to the end of the shank. The next material we're going to tie in is black and blue Cabela's rubber legs. I believe they're referred to as silly legs. They're black with blue flecking in them. And to start out with, we're going to want 3. And we're going to even our tips somewhat. If they're not perfect, that's fine, as long as they're at least as long as you want them. Excuse me. We're going to tie these in shank length. And the middle needs to be a little bit longer. Tie them in shank length. And I measure them so that they go right up to the end of the lead. I tie them in loose, and I keep it on top, and I work my thread back to the tie-in point. Next material we're going to tie in is our body material. This is Orvis black woolly bugger yarn. It's about the same exact stuff, I think, that is referred to in the pattern for the Midnight Fire. It's black with some pearlescent material in it, and again I tie that in at the base of the lead, and I wrap it back to the tie-in point of the tail, those 3 strands. And I bring my thread forward to about the 1/3 point of the shank, and we're going to bring our chenille forward. It's a very easy fly to tie, not a lot of moving parts. It's pretty straightforward. And when I get to that point, I'm going to tie it off temporarily. I'm going to give 2 wraps in front or behind, and 1 wrap in front to hold it in place. And I'm going to take two strands of the 3 that I used for the tail. I'm going to measure these to extend to approximately the bend of the hook, and I'm going to tie them in right in front of the chenille. And then I'll kind of tuck them, make sure that they're slightly angled back to the sides. Then I'm going to bring my butt ends up to behind the bead, and I'm going to leave my thread there. I'm going to hold these first two to the rear in place. I'm going to begin my wraps all over again. And then when I get to the end, when I'm about ready to do my last wrap towards the head, I'm going to bring these two fibers back as well, same way as the middle ones. And I'm going to give two good wraps over top to force them back. And then on the second one, we're going to tie off. Put two. Get them good and cinched down. And then we're going to do a quick whip finish. Like I said, very easy fly to tie. Very effective. Get about 4 wraps. That whip finish. Pull good and tight. And then the last step I do is I bring the top hackle back to about 2/3 of the middle hackle, and I trim it off. And then I make sure these are even, and back to the bend of the hook as intended. There you go. And there it is. The carpetbagger, or a variation of. You can tie it in countless patterns. If you go follow Neil at all online, you'll see he fishes this pattern almost exclusively through different periods of the year. He likes to add white in the middle. I have here, but this pattern right here with this black and blue legging and the midnight black or woolly bugger yarn with a gold bead seems to do very well for me here in the East. The carpetbagger. Hope it adds to your box as it has mine. Thank you, Neil, for showing me this, and good luck. See you on the water.